Good morning.
Hey, Sota.
Morning. Maybe Martin is coming, right?
Martin's coming, and I invited Toga as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hello, Martin.
Dream. Okay, can you hear me on my end?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sorry, there was like a little mix up because I was also logged in at Astar account without using my own account. So now it's fixed. So
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
same.
So we all had the same problem. So that's why we were a little bit late and confused. But we are here now and we are ready to start this crowdcast. So for this crowdcast, we will try to keep it like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on the questions that you guys have. So if you have a question, it's no need to answer your question or to ask your question in the troll box on the right, but just do it on the button below. You see like an ask a question tab below. So if you click on that, you can ask your question. You can even just say something that's on your mind as well. And then we can go over those questions later on at the end of this presentation. And then Valeria will ask the questions to us, and we will answer or do our best to answer those questions. So during this call, in this crowdcast, we have Sota Watanabe, the founder of Astar Network. Most likely you already know him. If not, it's a shame. So please look him up if you don't know him. But Sota Watanabe is a founder. He's the one who started Astar Network. And then in the middle, in my screen in the middle, it's Valeria. Valeria, she's our CMO. So the first time she is here on the crowdcast. So it will be great as well to have her as well on this call. So hi, Valeria. Hi, Sota. Nice to have you here.
Good morning. I'm in US right now, and the party is in Deba, and I'm really excited to be here. My brain is not working yet.
Yeah, indeed. Like I see some comments in the troll box as well that Sota looks sleepy. So yeah, Sota is in the US time zone, so he's in Denver as well. So it's very early morning. For me, it's already 4 p.m. So I'm already awake. So let me share my screen so I can start this presentation and give you like a brief overview about what we will be discussing today. There you go. I think you can see it. At the same time, I will also share the link here as well in this chat. So if you have any, or if you can't follow, please feel free to check out the presentation as well later on after this call if you want. So thanks everybody for joining. So today, June 14th, and we're here to do our first community call for this quarter. We usually did it like a couple of times a year. Every quarter we wanted to inform, but there were so many things going on that we forgot about doing another crowdcast. But here we are again, so I'm glad to see everybody here and joining this call. So what will we be discussing today? We will discuss our roadmap. So we will discuss how was Q1, what about Q2, and what are the next milestones for the Astar Network, and what can you as a community expect. I will also give you a brief explanation about the onboarding in XCM and Wasm. I used here the old logo of Inc. I just got a message from Parity that I was using the old logo, so they changed it. So if you are curious about the new logo, you should check out the crowdcast that is going to happen, I believe, tomorrow with our developers, and they will show you the new logo of Ink. It's a little bit better designed than this one. So if you are curious, you can check it out. I already did like an introduction of the people here in this call. So we have Sota as well as Valeria. If you have questions, again, hit the ask a question button below so we can answer your question. So let's move on to the next slide. In the same time, Sota, if you want to interrupt me, please do. Feel free to add comments. This is the same for Valeria. If you want to add something to this as well, just hop in the call, up in this, and just interrupt me. I'm okay with it. So we published our roadmap. The roadmap is something that we published some time ago. You can find it on our Medium. I will go over this as well in a couple of seconds. We also had a summary of Q1 where we described to our community what we did in Q1, what were our accomplishments, and what to expect for the next quarter. So how was it, or how is it still in Q1? Because we are still 2 weeks in Q2, sorry. So we are still holding strong. Why am I saying holding strong? Everybody knows it's the bear market. So we are still holding strong in this market, and we are keep on building everything. So what did we do in Q2? We had a new portal design. Everybody saw this as well when we launched dApp staking and the new portal. We had a lot of new features as well. With those features, we had nomination transfer as well as the compound rewards. The nomination transfer is where you can transfer your funds from one dApp into another dApp without going to the unbounding period. As you all may know, in our dApp staking, if you unstake your amount that you are staking on the dApps, you need to go to an unbounding period. On Shiden, it's 5 days, and on Astar, it's 10 days. But if you want to transfer your funds to another dApp that you want to support in dApp staking, you can now use the nomination transfer. This is very easy to use, and you can just nominate another dApp with the funds that you are staking at that moment on another dApp. Or you can even divide your staking amount amongst several dApps without going through the unbounding period. The compound rewards, it's the staking rewards you get if you press claim, you get your staking rewards. And at the same time, the moment you press claim, you get your staking rewards, and they will be added into your staked amount instantly without you need to restake and do everything on your own. So this is like an automated staking feature that is available in our dApp staking. You as a user can also turn this off. So if you don't want to use it, you can turn it off. We also extended our lease period as a parachain on Kusama. So Shiden has now extended the lease period for another year, actually. The rewards for this crowd loan that we did for Shiden, the second one, this will be distributed next week. So if you join the Shiden crowd, the second crowd loan, you will receive your rewards next week. We had a little bit of delay. This was because we had to prioritize some other developers into XCM and Wasm. But now everything is under control. We have the list of wallets who joined. We have the calculation ready. So those who joined the second crowd loan on Shiden will soon get their SDN tokens as a reward. We also launched the Astar and Shiden Pass. This is basically for developers who have their project built on EVM and want to map the native address with the EVM address. If this still sounds a little bit too technical, we have a great article in our Medium written by our marketing team that explains everything very well. You also will find this in our documentation. I will share this later, where you also will know more about the Astar and Shiden Pass. We had a very successful Japanese hackathon. We had over, I believe, 140 teams who joined that hackathon. We already have some projects who are already live. So this was a very great experience for us, and to see how much traction as well we got with the Japanese developers. We are also part of the Polkadot North America hackathon. This is currently running. So if you are still want to build something on Astar, if you still want to do something on Polkadot, I can recommend you to look for the Polkadot North America Hackathon, see what they are doing, try to join, because in my opinion, joining a hackathon is like a great way to learn more about Polkadot, especially now in a bear market. It's the perfect timing to educate yourself, to learn more. And the moment you find something that's really interesting for you, just jump on it and try to learn it. It's a great hackathon to start. We also launched our Dot Festival. This is currently already in the second week. We soon start the third week with these, I believe, the third event. So this is also going well. We checked the dot that is coming into Astar, and it looks really good. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we are almost at 800K dot in our ecosystem. So thanks a lot to everybody who joined this event and supporting the liquidity on Astar. We will have the Polkadot Decoded in 2 weeks. We will be joining in Berlin as well as in New York. So in New York, there will be Sota and Valeria who will be joining the Polkadot Decoded, and me and Hoon will be joining in Berlin. So if you are nearby in Berlin or New York, come and say hi. We are more than happy to have a chat with you and a drink. So hope to see you there. We also released our XCM vision, but I will talk more about this in the XCM part of this presentation. What else? What else did we do in Q2? For this, I will go to our roadmap. And if you would see our roadmap here, we had a lot of things added here and begin this year. I will go over this because we still had some changes in this. Everybody knows that setting up a roadmap at the beginning of the year is a lot of challenges. So some things will disappear, some things will be not going through, other things will be moved to another quarter. So let me just go over those that we set in the beginning of the year. So the first one is add ArtSwap to the Astar portal. We will not do this anymore. Why is this? This is purely because of regulations. We are working very closely with the Japanese government. We are also working very closely with in the US now, and having a DEX linked on our main website or main portal, it's not so good for regulation point of view. So that's why we decided to scrap this from our roadmap. This is purely because of regulation. This has nothing to do with any relationship between us and ArtSwap. This is purely about regulations and things related to this. Improved the Astar portal performance. We did this. We improved this for a couple of things. One thing is also added here in the roadmap. That's the public endpoint clusters. So this means that we clustered our endpoints for the portal to make a better performance for people to log in, to check their wallets, to join dApp staking, and so on and so on. We also added the gas station on the portal, meaning that you as a user can select how much gas you want to use when you send a transaction, slow, medium, and fast. Everybody knows this from MetaMask. We also implemented this in our portal to make it much better for users if they want to do a fast transaction or they want to spare on the transaction fee. For the Learning Hub for dApp developers, this is still in progress. What do I mean with still in progress? We already did a lot. One thing is that we improved our documentation. So if you would go to our documentation, we added a lot of extra things for this. Everything related to dApp staking for stakers, for developers. Everything related to XCM, how to use XCM as a user, or how to build with XCM for our builders. We also have an asset list, everything regarding the Wasm smart contracts. So if you are a builder and want to know more about Wasm, this is the place to be. We are adding more and more content on this part every 2 days or every week. Is more and more coming to this, so check it out. We also added a lot more integrations. So if you want to know how to use an Oracle, which Oracle you can use, how to use an index, or which index as a builder you want to use, and so on and so on. So if you are a builder and want to know more about how to use certain integrations, check out the documentation. There's a lot of valuable information there for you to use as well. So this is something that we are improving. Another thing is that we will start From next week, the Fire chat with the developers, I'm hoping it's still Fire chat, or maybe I'm just pronouncing it wrong, but we will do like developer sessions with our community. This can be with builders, this can be with projects who already are integrated with us, and we are trying to make those learning sessions. So if you are new to our ecosystem, you will learn in those sessions how to build on Astar, how to use, let's say, an indexer like Subsquid. Like Subsquid recently did like a great workshop where they learned, our developers or our builders, how to integrate Subsquid indexes in their dApp. So this is something that we are improving, and this will run over the next couple of quarters as well in Q3 and Q4. The XCM client libraries, I will talk more about this during the XCM part. dApp staking performance metrics. This is something that we are moving to Q3, and this is all related to the dApp staking redesign of the UI. So if you watch previous talks of Sota, Sota's always telling we want to be like an Apple store for dApps. And this new design for dApp staking relates to this Apple Store design. And this is currently moved to Q3 because of the front end developing. They got other priority tasks they needed to handle before they can approve dApp staking. The design is already ready and approved. It's still now time to integrate the new dApp staking look and feel. You will see this in the beginning of Q3. For the new Astar homepage, this is also being done now with the marketing team. They are now helping with the redesign of this homepage to make it much better regarding the UI UX for users visiting the homepage. So this is also moved to Q3. For the public endpoint clusters, I already mentioned this. For the on-chain governance palette, I will talk a little bit later in the next slide. But this is also moved to Q3 because we currently, for the on-chain governance, we are designing a governance system with tokenomics attached to this, with a governance token as well, to make sure that the governance is how do I say it, will be working very fine in our community. But it's still just finished in the research, and now we are going to implement it on Shibuya as well as on Shiden. For the Ask and other Wasm contract language support, this is done. I will talk more about this in the Wasm slides. Contract tooling is also currently in beta, and the XVM protocol demo with EVM, this is now also moved to Q3 because of the prioritizing of other tasks that are needed before XVM is even possible. For XVM, I'm talking here about the cross-chain virtual machine, meaning that the Wasm environment and the EVM environment can call each other and work each other with smart contracts. But this, because Wasm is still not ready on our mainnet, this is also delayed for creating this. Okay, so what's next for Q3? Of what to expect in Q3. One thing is that we will keep on building, even in this bear market, bull market. Bear market is a perfect timing to show us as a project that we are keep on building. One of the things that we will be doing is the launch of the XCM quarter. With Q3, we want to really focus as well on the XCM. With XCM, we currently are working very closely with Akala and Moonbeam, and those channels will be open in the next coming weeks, or maybe even this week for Corora. And we want to be having more and more channels as well for this. More information I will share later on in the XCM part. We are also trying to look for, or not trying, we are creating a solution for the native bridge. With the native bridge, we mean that this is needed for our Wasm projects that will be launching very soon. We currently have a lot of liquidity on our EVM side, but when Wasm projects are building on us, they also need liquidity for their project on the Wasm environment. Currently, there's only the Astar native token or the Shiden native token for this. There is no other liquidity available. So one thing is that we will be building out a native bridge solution. A solution can be, or not can be, but will be, is the connection with state mine, state mint, where we will use the asset that are currently being minted on state mint and state mine to be bridged over to with XCM to Scheiden and Astar. But more information will be going out later this month.
Yeah.
We will also
in addition to that, BizDev is constantly doing great job. So we are going to have some of the exciting partnership in quarter 2 and quarter 3. Yeah, sorry for the
Yes.
interruption.
No. Please do. Please interrupt me. Otherwise, I just keep talking. Other things about dApp staking, we have data improvements. Again, data improvements, this is not really related for you as an end user, but more for us, for the backend, to make the code more editable, upgradable for our developers to use. dApp staking rewards improvements. This is currently already being discussed in our forum. So if you would go to our forum, we had the discussion going on with the dynamic inflation rewards. This is part of our dApp staking. We will soon launch this in Q3. That we will start with the dynamic inflation for our dApp staking. So if you want to know more, go to our forum to get all the information regarding the current parameter that we want to set and what we want to do with the new inflation reward system. Finalizing the learning hub for dApp developers, on-chain governance on Shibuya and Scheiden. And Scheiden is here like italics. So because it still depends on how the reactions and everything goes on Shibuya before we can even go to Scheiden. We want to make sure that the benchmarking and the performance testing is well done on Shibuya first before even going with Scheiden. The Wasm tooling release, more for the Wasm later, and the launch of the first Wasm project.
Yeah.
Soon we will have.
Yeah,
Yes.
our ecosystem and Polkadot itself would like to push WebAssembly forward because Polkadot is not another EVM chain. So Polkadot is much more than the EVM, but the Ethereum virtual machine is the only one option which commercial parachains can support. So EVM is only one option on Astar right now. But Parity technology is improving WebAssembly palette, and we are going to monitor the performance in quarter 2, and we're gonna support WebAssembly on Shiden in coming weeks, and then Astar. Once it is supported, I think this is going to be really huge for the Polkadot ecosystem.
Totally agree with that. Sota already mentioned a lot of things that I'm going to talk now about the Wasm. So it's great because I used actually your slide, Sota, that you used on the Wasm conference a couple of weeks ago. So you already talked a lot about Wasm, and this was something that Sota just mentioned. Is Polkadot another EVM copy chain? Now, yes, because it's the only thing available for parachains if they want to launch smart contracts. We are talking here about smart contracts because EVM is for the smart contract. But for the future, absolutely not. Wasm EVM will be part of it, but we really believe strongly with the same vision that Gavin Woods has about the Wasm and the power of Wasm in the longer term, and how Wasm can be really like the next big thing regarding smart contracts.
Yeah, I can talk more about WebAssembly stuff. Could you go back? Yeah, Ethereum virtual machine is created by Gavin Wood, used to be CTO of the Ethereum and now founder of the Polkadot. EVM comes from Bitcoin design, OP code. So Ethereum virtual machine has a lot of the limitations. And now WebAssembly is built by big tech companies such as Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Mozilla, and so on. So having WebAssembly means supporting Web 2 developer. It means unlocking Web 3 for Web 2. And WebAssembly stands for WebAssembly. And compared to EVM, WebAssembly is more secure, faster, and more flexible for smart contract developer. Yep. WebAssembly is used to be the first smart contract environment But our ecosystem and also Parity Technologies realize that WebAssembly smart contract is too big to be deployed. So we need a lot of the optimization and we need a lot of the performance tests. And this is what we are working on right now.
Yes, correct. And one big thing or one challenge for us as a smart contract infrastructure is all those partners. So I just added some partners here because they are very viable or very needed for the Wasm culture that we are creating. One partner is Dia. Dia is creating the Wasm Oracle. So if you are creating or if you are building a DeFi product, you need an Oracle. And Dia is our main partner, and they already created an Oracle to do the Wasm price feeds. This is great, and it's already live, and you can already check it out how to use it if you go to our documentation. Another partner I want to mention is Subsquid. Subsquid is building the Wasm indexer. So an indexer is also very needed for any DeFi product out there, and also other NFT projects who need indexing as well. So Subsquid is providing this. We are working very close with Subscan. Subscan, everybody knows as Block Explorer, but they will also focus on the Wasm smart contracts verification. So you as a user can check out the smart contract for Wasm, and it will be verified on Subscan, so you can also check out the code from that smart contract. We are working very closely with SuperColony. SuperColony, they are creating the smart contract standards. Everybody knows about ERC20 smart contracts for token. They are creating a standard for the Wasm smart contracts, the PSP22, and they also creating standards for the Nfte smart contracts and so on. Swanky, this is our own developer tooling that we are creating. I only added the name because we still want to surprise you with the logo. And this will be coming in the next week. We have now a voting going on which logo we want to use. So I just used the name, but the Swanky logo is coming, and more about Swanky. If you want to know more about Swanky, we had a recent workshop with our developers. Also, in this Crowdcast link, so if you would go on the top, you can see other events from Astar, and you will find the first workshop during the Polkadot North America Decoded with Mario, where he is using Swanky. And tomorrow there's a new workshop going on where Pierre will also show Swanky tool with the ink and the depth staking extension for Swanky. And then this is like a statement, because like I was saying, for assets bringing over to our native site, we are working very closely with statements to get those assets to us. What do I mean with working with state? So we are talking with Web.com to getting like WebEat and WebBTC. We are working very closely with statement regarding the USDT for Polkadot, the USDC that is coming this year as well. So that's why I added here the logo of statements. And of course, we have also a lot of projects coming. Some are still like in early stage development, but I can say for every major category in the like I said, in the DeFi world and in the DApp projects, we are having some people working on projects, meaning like NFT marketplaces with Inc, smart contracts, lending platforms, DEXs. So everything is coming to Wasm, and they all will deploy on Astar and Scheiden. So it's a very exciting time that is coming. So Q3 and Q4 will be completely Wasm focused, and you will see a lot of new innovative dApps coming. So for the milestones, what is coming and what has been done. So the test of the smart contracts on Shibuya, this is currently being tested and benchmarked. We will support the contract palette on Scheiden, and then the first Wasm projects will be live on Scheiden. Then we will introduce the Wasm smart contracts on Astar. And then later on, we hope end this year that everybody will know us as the Polkadot native Wasm smart contract hub. And we will have use cases available for you to see the difference between Wasm and EVM. Okay, I think I mentioned everything regarding Wasm. Like, this is like basic information for Wasm. So if you are like more technical and you want to know more about this, Check out the presentations that Hoon gave in Amsterdam as well as in Prague. They are much more in depth in Wasm, and it can give you like a more technical overview about what's Wasm and how it's more powerful than EVM.
We do have one question from the audience about it, if I can chime in. So a question from Tomasz from Poland is, what project will be released in Wasm mode?
Yes, so regarding project, I can say for a DEX, we have a team already working on this. Those are the people from Allianz Block. They are working on a DEX on Wasm. We have a lending platform coming as well. We are talking with Mantra DAO for this. So they already got like a lending protocol available with Inc. And we are talking now with them to get it launched on Astar. For NFT marketplace, we have Codadot. For what else do we have? For derivatives, we have Radon, who's working on this. For gaming, we have Open Emotion Battler, as well as a small indie game developer who's also working with Wasm. So those are like already in a pipeline, but we were expecting much more as well. I hope this
some
gives...
of the people in the US is making a WebAssembly-based lending platform.
Yeah, correct. A lot of things are coming, and it's very new for a lot of people, but we try to do our best for you to get those Wasm projects out there as soon as possible, because we really need them as well to make sure that everything works great on our parent chain regarding the contract balance. For the XCM, what's XCM? So XCM is one of the most important feature of the .sama ecosystem. XCM, the cross-chain messaging, it's very important for the entire Polkadot environment. This is also, we call it like the child of Gavin Woods, because this is something that he's really focused on and really wants to emphasize to everyone. This is the future of Web3, and this is something that we also take highly in our vision. So I will not go into too deep about XCM. I will just say the basic about XCM. XCM will make it possible for us as a blockchain to interact with other blockchains through the relay chain of Polkadot, to make it much easier, much more secure, much cheaper, and much faster than current other bridge solutions or other solutions out there. We have already 2 parts available regarding our XCM vision. This vision is written by our CTO, Hoon Kim. He explained it very well about where we want to go in the long term with XCM. What will XCM be for the Astar environment? What is our vision of Astar regarding XCM? Those are long articles that you really need to take time to check them out, to read them, to understand everything regarding this. Like I was saying, we already got 2 parts available. The third part, I believe, Valeria, this will be released today, tomorrow. Can you?
I think it's in the works. And I think we're just putting the final touches on it. So yeah, look out for it in the next 24 hours.
Yes, indeed, because that's the final part of the long-term vision of XCM for Astar. So how would it look like? So let's use it. If you would go to our portal, Astar Network, you would be like in the environment where you can select your wallet, you can transfer your assets from EVM, you can transfer them to native. Here you can see on this screenshot that this is going from Polkadot to the Astar Network. Later on, when we have the connection open with Akala and Moonbeam, you can even select Moonbeam or Akala in here. And then you can transfer assets from Akala and Moonbeam to us, and vice versa as well. Transfer assets from us to them. That's also possible, of course. And later on, like I was saying in our roadmap, in Q3, we are really focusing on the XCM quarter. So Akala and Moonbeam, they are just the beginning. More and more will come as well in this. And we are giving more and more features to our developers to really utilize the XCM. So watch out for more news that's coming regarding XCM. So let me give you like a brief overview about the milestones. So regarding state mine and state mint, I already said that this is already done and it's finished. So with state mine means that we have a connection with Shiden and state mine. For state mint, we have a connection with Astar and state mint. We are now opening a challenge with Akala, Moonbeam, and Karura and Moonriver. This is, I think yesterday we already did like a testing with Karura and we already transferred assets from one to each other. So it's working. We now need to get it on our mainnets. Then we will introduce the Astar HRMP workflow. What do I mean with this? For other parachains to connect with us, we are creating a workflow to make it much more smoother for them to join us. So we will explain all the steps they need to take, and then we can easily make the connection with Astar and any other parachain, or with Shiden and any other parachain on Kusama or Polkadot. And last and not least, milestone 4, we want to create a healthy asset liquidity parachain for our dApp ecosystem. So having the assets and liquidity available for our dApps, it's very important for the Wasm and for the EVM dApps. But at the same time, we will be working as well with the XCM vision, where we even can use the liquidity on other parachains to be interactive with our dApps in our ecosystem. This is a small overview about what I wanted to share about the community projects. So Sota, please feel free to add something.
Basically, coming months is our goal is to become innovation hub where a lot of the assets are live on Astar. So meaning we are going to bring a lot of the Akara token on Astar, and we are going to bring a lot of the Moonbeam token to Astar. Then it's gonna be much more easier for new developer to create new application like DEX or maybe lending. So yeah, we're gonna focus on bringing a lot of the assets, including dots. And one question we got is when will I be able to bring dot token from Astar to Polkadot? Martin.
What was the question? Can you repeat? Dot token from to Polkadot?
I don't know his name, but he thinks like, I think Korean.
Okay,
When will I be able to bring dot back from Astar to Polkadot?
Okay, so if you would hold dot on the native side of Astar, it's already possible to bring it back to Polkadot. But if you have it now on EVM, this will be ready, I believe. I can't say the exact date, but I think next week or the end of it, within 2 weeks, it's already now in testing on Shibuya, but then you can do like EVM back to native, back to Polkadot. This just follow up the news during the DOT Festival, because we will make sure that at the moment DOT Festival is over, that those functions will be available, of course. I believe it will be next week. I need to check it out. Let me check it out later during the call when Sotas may be answering another question, and I can give you like a more detailed answer to this. So if you have any other questions, so Valeria, if there are any other questions, please feel free to ask them.
Okay. Let's see. There's a couple questions. Wow. Okay. Okay. I'm going to read it out loud so you can respond. It's from Socrates. Hi. Will it be possible from a Wasm SC deployed in Shiden to send an XCM encoded function call or equivalent to trigger a function of a SC deployed in EVM in another parachain, e.g. Moonriver and Karura? If yes, what is your best guess with regards to time, end of 2022 or 2023?
So that you want to answer, or should I?
Can you answer? And then I'm going to add more.
Okay, cool. So regarding this, like if you now see where is XCM now, so currently for XCM, there are some limitations. One of the limitations is that currently it's only possible now for assets through XCM now. But with the new version that is coming out, contracts will also can be called. If you check out the vision that we shared, this is also in our vision that this is like a must needed function to have, of course, not only asset, but also having that call to another parachain on another smart contract on another parachain it's key. When will this be available? This also depends on the development of Parity. We are working very closely with Parity regarding new features and helping improving them by making those XCM available in our parachains. When this will be released, I believe end 22, begin 23. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that it's already been worked on now with Parity because it's a must-needed function as well. For the first phase, it will only be assets for now. Sota, can you add more?
No, I think that's enough.
We do have a couple other questions. So one question that came up was, what do you think of this STEPN app, STEPN? Any chance we'll see an Astar in their new fourth world?
I think this is more a question for Sota. I think the move to earn applications are very popular in Asia, I think so.
Yeah, STEPN is super popular in Japan and in Asia, but not much in the US. But play to earn or move to earn application is very controversial, so we need a lot of experiments, and STEPN is doing great, I guess. Having like move to earn and game to earn, such kind of application is super important, especially under the bear market, because people can enjoy crypto instead of making money. We are talking with STEPN, but given that STEPN's current situation is really severe, probably they don't have a time to expand their chain. I don't know, but we keep doing the business development.
Yes, cool. Indeed. We keep on talking about all those play to earn, move to earn projects. So let's hope they will be still sustainable after the bear market and not just another hype. So, but I really like those. So let's hope they stick around because it's very nice for scaling blockchain in general and the use of blockchain as well.
There was another question for Sota. So a little while ago, Sota tweeted that it would be able, we would be able to book flights and hotels by using Astar. Where are we in this situation? With the situation?
When is always a tough question. So we are talking with them, and we are finalizing the deal right now. But Astar's utility is going to be expanding. Like, I can pay sushi with Astar token in Japan.
Yes.
Yeah. When I go back to Japan, I paid sushi fee by using Astar token. A lot of the utility is coming.
That's amazing. I can't wait to visit the sushi place. Next question is, when we stake dApps, where do we see the rewards? This is probably a question from Martin.
Well, this is also part of our new design of dApp staking, because currently you can also only see the rewards after you claimed. It's not possible to see your live rewards in your balance, so you need to claim them to see. But it's a work in progress that we are currently doing with our UI team. So if you want to know your rewards, just press claim. You will get like a pop-up about how much rewards you got, or you can also check on Subscan, where you can just enter your wallet address, and then there is like a tab available like rewards and slashing, where you can see your rewards that you earned through dApp staking.
Hopefully that helps. So this is actually a really good question for new people. Being someone that does not know much about Wasm, where's the best place for me to start studying and coding? Substrate tutorial about ink or any other tutorial, please?
That's a really good question. Currently, I would say yes, go to substrate.dev, where you can learn about the substrate tutorial regarding ink. That's a great start. Currently, the problem with the Wasm documentation is that it's very fragmented, meaning like you got the substrate developers documentation, you got the super colony documentation, you got our documentation, and then there are some other websites as well where you can learn more about the Wasm smart contracts with ink. So it's very fragmented. And one challenge that I also mentioned in our roadmap is creating that learning hub, creating that hub where you as a developer only needs to come to, let's say, hub.astar.network, where everything is available for you to learn from A to Z regarding Wasm. And that should really improve the Wasm culture inside Polkadot. It will also improve bringing new developers into Polkadot and into Astar. And that's one of the solutions that we currently are working on. And I think now to start with, go with substrate.dev tutorial.
Yeah,
yes.
And also Mario just shared the link on the chat. We are creating the document called Awesome Me. it is a WebAssembly document on our GitHub.
Yeah, the Awesome PR on GitHub was great. Like you see Wasm, like the Awesome. You will see everything that you want to know about Wasm. What are the compilers? What are the developments for the contracts? How to develop them? Like the Swanky tools also here, OpenBrush, PSP. How to interact with your Wasm contracts, everything that you need to know, the wallets, test notes, support channels, learning hub. Like here you see like as I was saying, very fragmented and all different kinds of links, but it's great if you would go to this link that Mario just shared, where you will find all the information needed for starting with Wasm. Let this be the portal for every new Wasm developer at this moment.
Yes. And of course, you can't forget about the workshop that we're doing tomorrow for the US Polkadot Hackathon. You already mentioned it, but just circling back on that. And then also there's going to be some chances to test it out. We're doing the US Polkadot Hackathon as well as the Data Natives Berlin Hackathon, which will convene with an in-person event in Berlin in the fall. And the hackathon will be online. So look out for those announcements as well.
Yes, correct. And just one thing to maybe end in case there are no other questions. If you are still looking for getting a job into crypto, maybe it's now not the perfect time maybe with the market, but then again, it's a perfect time to learn. We are still looking for great Wasm smart contracts developer, senior UI engineers, senior DevOps developer, developer relationships as well. Go on to our angel.co website where all the applications are listed. Talk to Sota, talk to me on Discord. We are happy to have a chat with you guys. And if you are interested in working for Astar, feel free to apply and send up your application. This is everything from my end. In case there are any other questions,
there is a couple other little questions. Yeah, there's another question about Wasm. This is actually a good one too for you. So Sota mentioned Wasm is good for Web 2 developers, which is great, but mentioned Wasm is also more secure than EVM. Is Wasm more functional language that prevents less loopholes than EVM?
Yep. So WebAssembly supports a lot of the languages such as Rust, Go, C++, and even Kotlin or something. So, and Rust is much more stricter than other language like Solidity or Viper. So when we compile Rust to the bytecode, a lot of the bug can be found automatically, which Solidity cannot. So in this sense, WebAssembly is much more secure. But the problem is we don't have much tooling right now in a Polkadot ecosystem. So we needed to make like Open Zeppelin for WebAssembly, or we needed to make Truffle for WebAssembly, and we need more auditor for the WebAssembly smart contract. And this is what our ecosystem is working on. Anything else, Martin?
There's one more question. Or do you want to finish up on that thought first, Martin?
No, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Any chance that Astra is going to onboard more Japanese anime IPs as NFT?
Yes, this is also what I'm working on. Probably I'm working on everything. I'm talking with some of the great Japanese IP provider in, I don't know, I can disclose the information or not, but a big company is going to make a NFT marketplace with great IPs, and which will be deployed in 1 or 2 months. So this is super exciting. And generally speaking, Japanese company is very, how can I say, conservative. So it is very important for us to make successful use cases from tier 2 or tier 3 IP, and then we can bring tier 1 IP. If we could have like Pokemon, that would be very awesome in the long run.
Nice. Okay, that's all I have for questions right now. Back over to you, Martin.
Okay, I was just looking at so those who have questions about Wasm compared to EVM or maybe other ecosystems as well. I'm trying to look for the clip where Hoon Kim, our CTO, talked during the Wasm conference, and he actually explains difference between Wasm on Polkadot, Wasm on Near, Wasm on Solana, and he compared those as well. And that's also great for if you want to know more about why Wasm on Polkadot. You need to check it out. I will look for the link and I will share it later as well in our Discord. So I think this is all from my end to share. So I want to thank everyone for joining this call, for being here with us. We hope to do this more often to share more updates with you. But as you know, sometimes time just flies without even thinking about having to do like a community call. So if you think it's time, just give a shout to us on Discord saying, guys, it's time to do a community call like you did now. And that's why we did this one. So we are here and we want to provide everything that you want to know. It's not always that easy, but we are really doing our best to give every news, everything coming and share it with you guys. In good and in bad times, we are here for you. So we hope you stick with us as well. And let's build together now during the bear market. And we will come out like a very successful smart contract hub on Polkadot. So a final words from you, Sota or Valeria, please go ahead.
Valeria?
Oh, yeah, no, it was really good. It was really good to be here on this community call. I look forward to many more and to speaking to all of you online. So thank you all for joining.
Yep. Right now, I think every project is under the tough, severe situation because the market is, crashing. This can be wrong because this crashes mainly comes from macroeconomy, but the great product or great company is always built under the bear market. Last time, such as Airbnb or Uber, Stripe, and before that, Google and Amazon, legendary company will be built in under the bear market. So all we are going to do is just focus on the technical updates. For us, cross-chain messaging passing and WebAssembly, and we're gonna win in the next bull run. So just keep focusing on the important things. And we are hiring, we are expanding team right now, especially in the US. And this is the reason why I'm in the US right now. Yeah, I hope we are going to make it.
Thank you, guys. So we'll see you all soon.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.